There are moments in a season when a single training ground image, a player staying late repeating a drill, shaking off sweat while others head inside, becomes the first visible sign of a shift in a team story, and right now that moment belongs to Eberici A's at Arsenal. He arrives into an already heated environment where expectations are sky high and every choice by the manager feels like a headline, and instead of slipping quietly into the squad, he's chosen to press forward to make himself impossible to ignore. With Bukayo Saka's injury opening an immediate vacancy on the flank, whispers that used to sit at the edges of transfer chatter have hardened into a loud question: could Ez start against Liverpool? The answer isn't given lightly inside the club, but snapshots from training reveal a player not easing in, but stamping his identity on every touch and movement. Teammates who faced him in the past nod at his technique. Coaches watching see more than fancy footwork. They see an ability to change the tempo, to probe defences between lines, and to bring a different kind of attacking unpredictability that forces tactical re-evaluation. For a manager like Mikel Arteta, whose choices are measured against style, balance, and the delicate chemistry of a front three that matters. His extra hours on the pitch, the drills after teammates have left, the repetition of final third combinations, the work on decision-making under pressure, tell a story about readiness that stats on a transfer poster cannot. It's one thing to be signed as depth, it's another to behave like a starter 2 weeks in. And that behavioural gap is exactly the kind of thing that turns training room murmur into a genuine selection dilemma. On paper, Gabriel Martinelli's form and familiarity give Arteta stability, but when a newcomer arrives who can pull defenders out of position with a flick, open passing lanes with a shoulder drop, and threaten with both shots and threaded pass, the question becomes tactical as much as it is about love for a player. Do you stick with continuity, or do you inject unpredictability at a moment when Liverpool's defence will be keyed in and expecting familiar patterns? That's the conversation happening behind closed doors, and it's why the prospect of ease starting carries more weight than a simple debut. It would signal a deliberate, aggressive tweak to Arsenal's attacking DNA for a single, high-stakes night. There's also the broader human angle. Eze's transition from Crystal Palace to Arsenal is more than a club swap. It's a move into a louder pressure cooker, where every moment of brilliance is replayed. A quick debut would test not just technical readiness but temperament. Can he absorb the noise of a huge crowd, the narrative that will swirl if he succeeds, and the scrutiny if he's ordinary? So the training reports suggest he's prepared for that mental load. Staying late isn't just about touches, it's about building confidence and familiarity with teammates' movements so that on match day muscle memory, not second thought, governs his choices. Fans are already dividing into camps. Those who want the new spark immediately, imagining a cameo that becomes a turning point, and those who urge patience, warning that a rushed introduction into a Liverpool showdown could do more harm than good. Both instincts make sense. A debut that succeeds creates an instant delta in the season. A mistimed one becomes a cautionary footnote. For Arteta, the calculus will weigh fitness, tactical fit, opponent tendencies, and the message his selection sends to the rest of the squad. If he picks Ez, he tells the dressing room that form, hunger, and match readiness can overturn seniority. If he waits, he signals that integration must follow its planned arc. Either way, the story of Ez this week is already a narrative about ambition. A player refusing to be depth, training like a starter, and forcing an elite club to decide whether to accelerate a plan. That's why this is must-watch. A single choice could ripple through selection debates, influence team shape, and alter the tone of Arsenal's attack in a fixture that matters to the title race, to fan morale, and to the young player's career trajectory. So when the team sheet drops, pay attention not just to a name on paper, but to what that name says about audacity, trust, and the curious alchemy that turns practice ground commitment into prime-time impact. What happens next will tell us whether Eze's late-night drills were preparation for a cameo or the start of something far bigger.